Hi friends, welcome back. So this is going to be a number 2 in this line of the 6x6 album. So the first one I showed you guys how to do this cover part here, and the second one is going to be showing you guys how to do the binding system and then some of the pages. So I'll show you guys how to do that. So for our binding system, we're going to use, I'm just using some of this extra right now that I've cut off of that of the paper when I was making it. So I need to have 3 different pieces because I'm doing for the stack the deck, it's 3 different pieces inside of it. So I need one that is at 3 1/8 by 6 1/2. So sorry. So the first one is going to be 1 3/8, which is right here. 1 3/8 right there, and it'll be by 6 1/4. The first piece we want. And then the second one is going to be 2 1/8. So I'm just going to go to 2 1/8. 2 1/8. There it is. And then again by 6 1/4. 6 1/4. And then the next one is going to be 2 7/8 by 6 1/4. There's 2 7/8 by 6 1/4. There we go. And so there's our binding system, and it's able to stack right in between each other. Wait, I think I cut this too long. I did. So 1 3/8. I was like, okay. I'm like, wait, that doesn't look right. So 1 3/8, then 2 1/8. Yes, and then 2 7/8. Yes, okay. So these should just stack in between each other just like that. Just like so. Okay. That is right. Okay, I'm just making sure these are right. I always like to remeasure and remeasure and remeasure. So it's 1 3/8 by 6 1/4. 2 1/8 by 6 1/4, and 2 7/8 by 6 1/4. And then on all sides, on the long side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. So you can use your scoreboard if you want, or you can actually use this and just score it with using your score blade. So since I have this out right now, I'm just going to go ahead and use this. So I'm just going to turn it and score again at the 1/2 inch. This one will be a little bit trickier because it's so small. So this first piece, the littlest piece here, will have very little in the way of room on the inside there. So you'll have very little space in the inside. That's exactly what you want. It's probably much easier to use actually your scoreboard for that smaller piece, just to make sure you get it straight. Okay, so there's those, and then we're just going to go ahead and burnish these down on all sides. This is called the Stack the Deck, and I can't recall who came up with this system, but it's brilliant. And I love it. It's one of my favorite ways to do mini albums because it is actually a little binder system. So, a little binding it. So I just think it's great. Whoops. There we go. So just remember when you're making your binding system, so if you're going to make this for a different size album, you just want to make it a 1/2 inch shorter than your cover. So whatever your cover is, you want it to be just a 1/2 inch shorter so that you allow for some room on either side there. So that's how you can determine this. So let me grab my glue, my Tombow glue, and then all I do is start to glue these together inside of each other. I kind of flatten these out a bit, and then I'll take this, the first one here, And just put some glue there. I prefer the glue over tape at this point because you're going to be moving this so much that you really want to have it a really secure base here. But again, whatever you guys like. And you have a few moments to get this, make sure it's right in the middle there. That's why I just kind of make sure, eyeball it. I'm not too OCD about it that I have to measure it, but I just eyeball it to make sure it's pretty centered, and then I'll take my tool here and then just give it a nice, press down there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So I'll just put some glue on this binding system. And then again, I'm just going to line this up. And I find it easier to look on the ends there to see if it's in the middle. So whatever is easier for you. That's how I like to do it though. Okay. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and press this down. And then while I am here, I'm going to take my score tape, or whatever you guys want to use. Well, this is my Terran tape. And I'm going to put this on both sides of each flap. So on one side of the flap and then on the other side of the flap as well. And this is what we're going to do here, our pages too. So I'm just going to do this really quickly. And this allows for a 3/8 of an inch gusset in between each one, if that's what you guys are wondering. So again, if you guys know the measurements and how to figure this out, you can make this work for whatever size album you are doing. You just have to know your a few dimensions and you're good. And this side as well. Like I said, you guys, these are super fun. You just make these while you're, have something on. So what I usually do is I'll make a whole bunch of these of the mini albums, the covers, and then I'll just have them set aside. And then when I want to make a mini album, it's already ready. Because once you get into the mode of making the binding system and all that, it's super easy. And so I'll just use different colors of this paper here, this cardstock or whatever. And so if I don't know what I'm using, what paper pack I'm using, at least I can choose from then. And then when I have somebody in mind I want to give it to, or for an occasion, it's easy just to decorate it from that point forward. So, but yeah, this is super easy. There we go. Okay. And so now I'm just going to take my bone folder here and I'm just going to burnish these down to make sure. This makes it so much easier, again, for you to pull that tape up. So we're not going to be pulling this tape up for a while because we're not ready to put the pages in yet, of course. Okay. So I'm just going to go on each side here. There we go. You can see how that is layers in there. It's very nice, and there's our binding system. So now all you're going to do is glue this in here. So before you do that though, you're going to want to line the inside of this piece here. And I just line it out an inch on either side here because I think it's a waste of paper to line the whole thing. You can do that if you want to, but I think it's easier to not do the whole thing. But it's up to you. Definitely you can do the whole piece if you'd like to. And I might just do that now because I think I have some scraps that I could use. Let me see. Yeah, that's perfect. That's just what I want it to do. So then I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down on my inside here. And you could use score tape if you want, but I just like to use glue. Like I said, this gets a lot of wear and tear right here, so I think it's really nice to use glue. So I'm just going to center this top and bottom and side to side. And then you're not going to want to fold this and crease it back up again until it dries all the way. So just give it a few minutes here to dry. And again, if any glue comes out of it, you just use your finger and move that aside. There we go. Definitely making sure to get glue on all those edges. Looks like I got that one. Okay. So then I just take my bone folder and then I just go ahead and do a line. Just to help it, give it a little help on the creasing part. And I just grab it and kind of fold it there. And there we are. So there's that system. And then from here we can adhere our binding. So I would cut this at 6 1/4 just to match this length if you wanted to. And like I said, once I get to this stage here, I will sometimes make the pages and sometimes I won't. But then I'll just leave this ready to go for whenever I'm ready to make another album. And I'm just centering this between the top and the bottom and then the middle of that piece there. There we go. And I'm just going to push this down nice and tight with my bone folder. And then there's our binding system done and ready to go. So now we just need to make our pages. So I'm just going to let that dry, set that aside, and then we can get out and make our pages. Hi guys, so for the pages, what you're going to need is 3 different sizes of pages, and the easiest way I think to remember how to do all this is just to number them 1, 2, and 3. So for page number 1, for part of the page number 1, you're going to need 6 of these cut at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then for page number 2, you're going to need 6 cut at 6 1/4 by 7 1/4. And then on the 7 1/4 side, you're going to score 1/2 inch on either side, and that is page 2. And then for page 3 of it, you're going to need 12 of these because there's 2 for each page. So 12 of these at 6 3/4 by 6 1/4. And then on the 6 3/4 side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch as well. So, and then you'll have 2 of these pages right here per page that you're making. So I'm going to score these down. And then this comes together so quickly. So the lady who made this design, she was just so smart when she did this. So here's the easiest way to remember how to do this. I take page 1, and then here's page 2. And then I'm going to put some glue on just one of the flaps here. And then I'm going to take it on the bottom and line it right up evenly. I've tried different ways, but I really feel this is the easiest. Okay, so it's lined up perfectly on the bottom of that page 1. You can see my extra glue here, which is fine. There we go. So I'm just going to burnish that, and I'm going to open it, and still being careful that it stays in place because sometimes glue, you know, it takes a minute to dry. Okay, so there is the bottom of it, and it should be lined perfectly up and it's a nice smooth edge, which I have there. And so then on the top of it, I'm going to put some more glue at the top and do exactly the same thing I just did. So this is creating your slot here, so you want to be careful. And then again at the top, I'm just going to line these up. There and there, just make sure they're perfectly lined up. And I'm just going to crease that down. So remember, so we're taking page 2 and gluing it on the top and bottom of page 1. So that's how I remember this, is just by numbering them. Otherwise, I think sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but okay, so there you have it for the first part of the page. And I always keep myself some wipes close by as I'm doing this, so that if I get any extra glue, like I just did anywhere, I can kind of get it off so it doesn't make a mess as I'm going along. Okay, so there's that. So now taking page 3, the one that we have just the gusset there, just the one side, we're going to go ahead and glue this. And then we're going to take this and glue it to page 2. So we're gluing page 3 to page 2 on the left side only. So you're just going to line this up on the left side. I kind of turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing. And just exactly the same thing I just did at the bottom there. So you're only gluing it to page 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and push this down. And this glue does dry fairly quickly, but I just want to make sure I give it a second. So there. So there's our page. The first part of our page is just right there like that. Okay. So that was, again, page 3 that we glued to page 2 on the left side. Then you're going to flip this all the way over to the very back side, and you're going to take the second little flap here, and you're going to put some glue on this as well. And then you're going to glue page 3 to page 1 on the right side. So hopefully that makes sense. That's the easiest way I found to remember all this. There we go. If there's any extra glue, I just kind of get it out there. So that is how you do the full page. So this is where it's going to go into the book. You can see right here. And there'll be your pages here. This will be a pull page here. And then you'll have your other pages here. So now, in the tutorial that the lady that made this, I want to call her Lori. I think it's Lori. She alternated between a belly band and a pocket on the back page of all 6 pages. So I don't really like belly bands that much for these. So I just have the pockets. So the size on these are, I'm going to cut this really quickly and I'll tell you the size. Just making sure, yeah. Okay, so these are 7 1/4 by 3, and then you just score on 3 sides, 1 long side and 2 short sides at the 1/2 inch. That's all that you do there. And then you'll need 6 of these if you're going to just do the pockets. Now if you want to alternate with belly bands like she did, then you'll only need 3 of these, and then you can do a belly band. But you know, I like, when people make tutorials, I like to just use it as a reference and kind of go from there with what I want. So you can glue this on or you can tape it on. Either way, whatever works for you is fine. So that is our page. So then at the very back page here, if we're going to glue this on, that's what I would do. Is I'm just going to go ahead and I would start probably at the bottom again, and then line this up on the bottom, and it should go all the way across there. And you could use score tape or you can use the glue like I'm using. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's really whatever you prefer to use when you're creating albums, really. And I like to do that one first so that I can open it up and just make sure this is nice and tight down there at the bottom. And then I will put some glue on either side of this. You just don't want to use too much because it will squirt out and make a big old mess. And then we can put that down. And it should line up because you lined up the bottom, so the side should line up perfectly. And again, if you want to use some score tape, feel free. So this is on the very back page of that full page. So this is all one page, right? But it'll be individual pages as you go on. So just like that, and then the very back page. So every back page will have a pocket. Now you can make as many pockets in here as you want. You can make flaps if you want. Like she has flaps on all of hers. I'm just going to be very simple and do it just this way. So if you guys want to see, there's a little glue there. If you guys want to see a different tutorial, again, hers will be linked below and you're welcome to go watch hers. And she did a great job with that. So that is everything for this. So I'm just going to let that dry for a moment. And then once that's dry, we'll go ahead and stick it in the album. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll make one more page for you guys to see, just in case you guys are want to see that one more time. So I have our base page here, which is again 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then we have our page 2, which is 6 1/4 by 7 1/2, and then on the 7 1/4. On the 7 1/4 inch side, we've scored it at a 1/2 inch on either side there. And then I'm just going to burnish this down. And again, you can use score tape if you'd like, or you can use glue. I think glue is kind of nice because if you're going to be flipping it a lot, I think it just kind of holds up a little better. but really it's to your preference. So then you're going to take page 2 and glue it to our base page at the bottom. Start there, line it up, and then just glue that there towards the bottom. There we go. And I'm just taking it very carefully and just kind of burnishing that all over. And then I'm going to glue the top, this page 2 to page 1 at the top. So that kind of helps me if I remember the number system. So hopefully that helps you guys. Just make sure it's lined up so that you don't have any gapping. There we go. There we are. So then you have it to the top and the bottom of page 1 is your page 2, and then you're going to take, you need 2 of page 3, which is, where are they? Right here. So you need 2 of these per album, and these are 6 1/4 by 6 3/4, and then on the 6 3/4 side you've scored it at 1/2 of an inch there. And then I'm just going to glue. So we're going to take page 3 and glue it to page 2 on the left side. That's the first step. So on the left side of page 2, and just right to the edge there, line it up, make it look golden. There we go. And I'm just going to, obviously I'm just going to wipe some of this glue off. There. It will dry clear. I just like to get rid of some of that excess before it makes a big old mess. So there's that. So that is page 3 to page 2 on the left side, and then you flip it all the way over and take page 3 and you're going to glue it to page 1 on the right side. There we go. Open it up. There we are. And then on the back page, you can alternate between belly bands or pockets. I prefer pockets myself, so I'm just going to burnish these really quickly. And then you're going to cut your corners here on your pocket. There we go. And then we're going to take the bottom piece here and glue the bottom piece. So take the pocket. And the pocket, again, just so you guys know the measurements again, this is, what is it again? Here, I have it written down so I don't forget. It is 7 1/4 by 3, and then you score it 1/2 inch on 3 sides, one on the long side and one on either side of the 3, on both sides of the 3-inch side. Okay, then you're just going to glue the bottom part, and you're going to glue this to the back, very back page of that little pocket section there. I always start with the bottom piece, and then I'm going to fold these in and do the side pieces there. And I didn't cut this quite enough, so I'm going to cut that again. There we go. There, that's much better. Okay, and then we can glue either side there. Put it up. And there we are. And that is another page. So that's how you have, and then you want 6 of these, like I said, for your book. 6 of them total. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this and make the rest of these really quickly, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to put it onto the album. Hi guys, so I have all the pages made. So all you're going to do is, I forgot to show you guys this, but you're going to want to cut this at an angle on the side here before you glue it in. I just forgot to show you that there. And then when you're sticking this on here, you're just going to take the tape off, and then this will slide right into the opening there. Just go like that, and then you'll glue it on there. And it's boom, it's done. And then you'll have your pages there. You'll have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you'll also have your insert here. So that is how it goes like that. So on the sides here, all you're going to do is mat that with whatever paper, whatever decorative paper that you want. So anyway, I'm going to probably show you guys the decoration in another video because I don't want these to be too long for you guys. So anyway, there is my 6x6 mini album, and I'll be back in the next one to show you guys how I'm going to decorate it. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Bye.